There are strong indications that the sack of the service chiefs by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is connected to the alleged coup against the president that was allegedly planned to have taken place on October 1st, 2025, that was broke by Sahara reporters on October 18. Now, many Nigerians were shocked when the announcement was made by the special advisor to the president on media and public communication, Sunday Dare, on Friday, October 24, 2025, to say that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has sacked his service chiefs. And that was the headline across all the mainstream media. Tinubu sacks service chiefs. But what should have been the real headline was Tinubu sacked some service chiefs, not all the service chiefs. There are those that were retained, and those that were retained give an indication that these are the people that the president has more confidence in them for being able to identify those who were allegedly planning evil against the government or planning to overthrow the government. That is basically what this seems to be. And we're going to show you why this indication is like this. Because don't forget, it is not all the service chiefs that were sacked. Two of them were retained. One was elevated. Why was the one retained? That is a pointer to those who believe strongly that there was a coup plot, a foil coup plot, as was reported by Sahara reporters, and then given more flesh by Premium Times, by ICIR, and then by even Daily Trust in subsequent investigation, talking to sources. But in the release by Sunday Dare, the special advisor to the president on media and communication, he said the reason they were sacked was to improve the security architecture in the country. It's part of the ongoing process of improving the security architecture. But you and I know that in recent time, this same government have been telling Nigerians and the world that security has improved tremendously under General Christopher Musa and the other service chiefs that were sacked. So what was their fault? What was the problem? Because the last testimony that were being given by the government was that the security has improved more than ever before. And you see a lot of people saying the same thing among the government circles, including state governors, including the governor of Kaduna State, where the sacked chief of defense staff hails from, saying that they have never had it so good. So why change a winning team? Okay, but the pointer is that this may not be unconnected to the alleged coup plot, that the president actually want to ensure that issue like that never arise. Therefore, this was an attempt to put the service chiefs on their toes to ensure that as they secure the country, they should also secure the government. and ensure that democracy is not threatened at all. Now, I will get to the clearest pointer to why many people believe that this may not be unconnected with the alleged coup plot. Now, General Christopher Musa, he has received a lot of praise by this same government, a lot of testimonies saying their insecurity has reduced drastically under his supervision. He was dropped, and the former chief of army staff, General Olufemi Oluyede, was elevated from the chief of army staff to become the chief of defense staff. Okay, that's why I said that the headline that was carried by the whole of the mainstream media was misleading. What would have been the appropriate headline was that Tinubu sacks some of the service chiefs. Okay, because Olufemi Oluyede was not sacked. He was promoted. He was elevated to take the place of Christopher Musa. Now, the new chief of army staff is Major General Waidi Shaibu. He is believed to be from the Yoruba-speaking part of Kogi State. Okay? He is from the Yoruba-speaking part of Kogi State. So people have also noticed that the chief of defense staff and the chief of army staff, they are of the same ethnic stock. And we're going to talk about it later, the significance of this development in terms of those who believe that this is part of the process to ensure regime protection and also ensure security in the country. Now, Rear Admiral Abbas replaced the former chief of naval staff, Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ogala. Okay, Ogala was sacrificed for Rear Admiral Abbas. The former chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Bala Abaka, was replaced by Air Vice Marshal S.K. Aneke. Now, this is where it gets interesting. I will tell you why it gets interesting now. Because we are now going to talk about the service chief that retained his position. I'm talking of none other than the chief of defense intelligence, Major General EAP Udwe Ndeye from Cross River State. He retained his position as the chief of defense intelligence. Why is his position very interesting? And why is his retention a pointer to those who believe that the changes may not be unconnected with the alleged coup plot? This is because it was reported by Sahara reporters and by Premium Times and even by the Daily Trust and others that the alleged coup plot was uncovered and foiled by the Defense Intelligence Agency. And who is the chief of defense intelligence? Who is the chief? It is Major General EAP Udende. Therefore, it means he was getting a good mark for being in charge of the body that discovered the coup. So you don't change a man who did such a marvelous work in identifying the alleged coup plot. So his retention, many are interpreting it in social media space and elsewhere that it was a clearest indication that he did a good job. He was able to protect the regime from threat from inside and all that. Remember, if you read the report of the alleged coup plot, you will discover that it was this Defense Intelligence Agency that was instrumental in allegedly uncovering this coup plot and getting the arrest of about 16 or so officers who are said to be still in detention. Now, that is clearest indication that what happened, the changes we are seeing, may not be unconnected with the alleged coup plot. But let us also not forget that the government is still insisting, doubling down, that there was no coup. But if there were no coup, the Nigerians also are waiting for clearest explanation of what happened. That was why, if you go and read the statement by the African Development Congress, ADC, in their statement by Malam Abdullahi, okay, the statement they issued point to the fact that they also suspect the ADC, one of the major opposition political parties in the country today, suspect also that there is hand of the issue of coup in the whole thing. But the ADC is also insisting that if there was nothing, coups were not related to what the changes that is happening, that Nigerians need more clarity. Okay? So that Nigerians need to be told the reason for the changes. Because according to ADC, the government is denying there was no coup. But the sudden change, the sudden sack of the service chiefs at a time when the issue of alleged coup was in the front burner is suspicious. That's what the ADC in their statement and in their reaction to this matter is. So, having looked at the situation from the what we have pointed out, and the ADC themselves, the major opposition party ADC, and the fact that the detention of some of the military officers over the alleged coup, but the statement from the defense headquarters under the last administration of Christopher Musa was that these were routine disciplinary situation in the military, that it has nothing to do with any coup. ADC is saying we need more clarity. A lot of Nigerians are saying they need more clarity. But from the changes you have seen in the service chief, and the mere fact that the chief of defense intelligence, under whose supervision the coup was allegedly foiled, is that a pointer to the fact that these changes may not be ordinary, may not be just a routine security architecture change as the presidency want Nigerians to believe? So what do you think is responsible for the change, given the fact that this same government have been saying for quite a while now that security has improved under the supervision of Christopher Musa? Whatever is your position, let's hear from you at the comment section. Thank you for watching this video, and if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel.